It's another week,
Another week, another
another
day,
show,
another dollar.
another show. And you know, I don't know, man. It's like it feel like it gets easier and easier. I feel like I used to be nervous, and now I'm not really nervous. I just want to have fun. My mom always watches the show, and she says, "You say and ah a whole lot."
Ooh ah. Hey man,
Well,
it's a blast. It's a fun, and I think we're in for a treat today as well. As you know, our podcast today is named 21 Questions. We also have a guest on the show that's going to be joining us today. So, as you know, Ra, every week we get approached and we get hit up on Instagram, Facebook, whatever platform we're on, and we have people that are excited about the show and want to join us. So for us, it's always a treat because we're two ordinary guys talking about a hobby that we truly love from the bottom of our hearts. And, hey, we like to give back and we like to introduce people and we like to bring people on the show that, wants to be on here with us, man, and have something to offer. So today you're going to have a treat to meet one of those guests who, approached us and said, hey, I like what you guys are doing and I want to be a part of the show. When can I get on? And, we made some time for him this week.
that's true. That's true. So, I mean, like, I feel like every episode has been getting better. I don't know, I don't even know where we lead to with this, but I know I will say this. I mean, this week was supposed to be Sappy's week, so I want to say we're gonna send out a prayer to Sappy and his family. He will be on the show eventually. This is supposed to be a really big show with him talking about grading, which we'll talk about at a later date. And I know next couple of weeks we have what's his name, Mike Baker. We
Mike
also
Baker.
have Garen Jones, who also is going to join us very shortly. But today we are being blessed with the presence of Bavin. Did I say that right? You said
No,
you
Bobby,
corrected that.
man. I told you right before the show. Hey, it don't matter. You can have it like on a teleprompter right in front of you, man. You're still gonna jack up people's name.
Man, look, Bavin.
Bobby.
Okay, well I get it, Bavin.
Yeah,
It's cool,
Bobby. Roll it off the tongue.
Bavin.
Hey, don't forget the intro either, baby.
What are you talking about? What intro? What intro are you talking about?
Our intro, baby. I need to hear that. Ooh, 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 ooh.
What? That ain't how the intro go. It
All
go a
right, tell
little
me
bit
how to
like
go then.
it go like this. What's up, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls? This is your boy Prism God and your boy Kobe Collector, and we have a special guest today in the building by the name of Bavin. Bavin. I said it right? Okay. So I can hear you guys just fine. Can you guys hear me? I want to make sure everybody can hear me okay. So without further ado, let me give me 1 second. I think we have a technical difficulty here. I know when we're doing a live show, it's really hard to. Let's see if I got my boy Kobe Collector back. Are you back, Kobe Collector? Can you hear me okay? Can you hear me, Bavin? Send me a message and say, can you hear me okay? Okay, so Bavin can hear me, but Kobe Collector cannot hear me. So let's talk trash about Kobe Collector until Kobe Collector gets its sound together. All right. So I'm gonna probably do a GoFundMe for. We're gonna do a GoFundMe for Kobe Collector, and we're gonna get him a microphone and some headphones so he can be a part of what's going on. Because every single time we have technical difficulties, it's always his fault. We don't know why. So, without further ado, we have Bavin, and we're gonna see if Kobe Collector can come back. Well, let's see if we can get him on here. Um, Log out and come back. All right. Okay. So without further ado, I'm going to bring on Bavin. What's up, brother?
What's up? What's going on, guys?
Okay.
Gals?
Good, good. Yeah, so look, we're missing Kobe Collector currently because I don't know, he has some mic issues or speaker issues, but you can hear me fine, okay, right?
Yeah, I can hear you fine. Mark's been like that way. I come to his house and Indian people like to get loud and talk, and he still can't hear me.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah, I don't know, man. Like I try to work with him, man, but it's hard finding good help nowadays, man. It's just far hard finding good help,
Uh,
But no, I'm just messing with you, man. Kobe Collector. But no, we're gonna have to put a GoFundMe out there, man. We got to get Kobe Collector
got
up
to.
up this par, man, up to speed out
As
here.
soon as we get done, I'm gonna go on Facebook and I'm gonna put one for him.
Oh,
Hopefully
hey,
get him what we need, what he needs, because clearly he doesn't have it. So he popped up and popped back out. So
hey, look at that. So while Kobe Collector is actually working on his I guess microphone or headphones, I'm not sure exactly what's going on. We're going to talk about before we go into the details of today's show. I want you to tell everybody who you are and how long you've been in the hobby.
all right. My name is Bobbin Shaw, and I've been in the hobby since I was a kid, like 5. I've been collecting. I was blessed enough that my dad used to buy a lot of cards for me and my brother growing up, and I took a hiatus whenever I went to high school and got back into it about 3 years ago. I met my buddy Mark on this. We were actually looking for work together, and we actually found some guys who needed their fence redone and their roof to be done. So we kind of hooked it up, and they were asking me if I were Indian. I was like, yeah, I am. And they were like, well, can you do some IT work for us? We got a computer to fix, and can you run this gas station? So I do a little bit here and there, but in all honesty, yeah. So I got back into it. Really memorabilia. I was doing memorabilia for a good while, and then I started doing cards about 2.5 years, almost 3 years ago. So yeah, it's been fun. Collecting, trading. The hobby's grown so much. It's crazy. So I feel blessed because there's a lot of people out there that who are struggling. They don't have work, and it's just a blessing to be here to meet new people. The first thing is meeting new people. I talk to so many people, and that's the number one thing. Connecting with people. So this is like
That's it.
really a way to connect with people from all over the world. There are people that I would never dream of, that I would be talking to. Like my wife, for example, never talked to her in 5 years. We've been married. Now I have this hobby. She's asking me every day, hey, what are you doing? Did you get this? Are you getting me the money? And I'm like, yeah, I got you, So, let's
Right.
post together. But yeah. Really joking aside, honestly, it's, meeting Mark. Mark lived right down the road from me, still does. And I
Yeah.
didn't even know he existed, until about a year ago. So, it's really cool, just to, meet new people, connect with new people, hear their stories, and,
Nice.
enjoy the hobby. So,
Yeah, we talk about the camaraderie in the industry. Mark, can you hear us? Can you talk to us? Are you okay
yeah,
now?
let's
I'm
see.
alive. I'm alive, man. It's like
Sorry
every
about
time you play our intro, man, it goes bam, and it knocks me out. And I
It's
feel
too
like
much for you.
I just got hit by Tyson. I'm
It's,
down for the count.
it's,
Down goes Frazier.
the intro is too much for you, man. It's too powerful.
Oh man, I love it though. Hey, so a little bit about how I met Bobby, man. It was a little bit like I met you, Raphael. We hit him up, and we knew each other crossing paths. With a lot of cards. He hit me up one day. He wanted to trade, and he lived right down the street, like literally right down the street. And he goes, "Man, I'm on my way over." I was like, "Okay." He's like, "I'll be there in 5 minutes." I was like, "Darn, you're that close." So he came over. We did a deal. And then that next weekend, man, we actually took a 4-hour drive to Dallas to one of the card shows. And I probably found out more about Bosman in that day than I found out about anybody. Because after 4 hours, you
That's
kind of
true.
either you're gonna
Facts.
talk or you're
Yeah,
gonna run out of things to talk about. So
exactly.
it made the trip real short, man. And actually, man, I got a lot to learn about Bobin. We've actually he's helped me out with some stuff. I've helped him out with some stuff, man, and it's been really great.
That's
Really
so
good guy,
great.
man.
So, are you, Bob, and you gonna be at the show in Dallas next week?
No, so it's actually I have to work next weekend, and my dad's birthday is on Sunday. But my dad aside, because he probably won't be able to come out this way. If they cancel work, which is 50-50, then yeah, I'm gonna definitely go. So
Hey, you know Nitin, right?
You.
Hey,
yes,
hey, Nitin says this guy won't even show up for his funeral, man. So don't listen to anything he'll say.
That's funny. All right, well, guys, today's topic is a little different. Usually we talk about one thing on the show. And today I want to try to fit 21 questions into one show. Right? So we're going to see if we can figure this stuff out at a short amount of time and chop up as much information as possible. And with the guys that are listening and all the people that are actually viewing us, if you want to interact, feel free to interact and ask your additional questions. Or if you have any opinions about anything, I'll pop them up here on the screen. So without further ado, we present 21 questions. All right. So with everything that's going on in the hobby right now, you want to start this off?
You got it. You got it. You got it. Yeah.
You sure?
I like to hear you talk. You like to hear you talk
too. I'm lost in your voice, man. Matter of fact, I'm just
man. I'm so seductive. I'm so seductive when I talk.
You are. You really are, man.
Just give me all your money. Give me all your money. No, all right. So without further ado, we present 21 questions. Right. So with everything going on in the hobby, it's so much to talk about, and I'm going to start off with. Recently this week, we just found out that Donruss basketball costs $1,000 a box. Are you guys buying? Or are you like, what's up? What's up with that?
Man, I wouldn't have bought Donruss for $1,000 last year if I knew Luka, well, not Luka, but Zion and Ja were going to be as hot as they are. So who's in this product that is pushing that up to $1,000?
LaMelo Ball. Ball,
man.
Him and
$1,000.
So there's two people. There's LaMelo Ball, who became the youngest player in NBA history to record a triple double, and there's another guy driving the market. Like for example, Hoops. Right? Hoops was at $6,500 a case. So like. It's a $20 case, so I think it was about $325 a box. Now they're running the $9,500 a case in 2 weeks.
Yeah, that's ridiculous, man. There's no way.
But look though, NBA Hoops had Kobe Bryant's autographs, live autographs.
Yes,
very big difference.
Yes,
very big. There's no Kobe Bryant autographs, right?
No.
So I think that it's different. I only see 2 rookies this year that I'm actually interested in investing in. I don't see spending $1,000 on boxes. I'm just saying. It's just
not Donruss. Not Donruss. Like we're not even talking cream of the crop Prizm where it sets the standard for for that year. This is Donruss. Like we're talking about Donruss. Like I feel like I'm talking like Iverson. We're talking about practice. Like we're talking about Donruss right now. There's no way. There's no way it's gonna sit on shelves, man, unless we get into breakers and they start dishing it out. But I can't see it popping off at $1,000 a box. There's just no way. I'm not a buyer.
You'll be surprised. though.
Okay,
hey, you're a buyer at $1,000. Who answer that question?
No, I'm a buyer. I'm a buyer at like. Man, I'm not a buyer at all. 500 maybe. But
next question.
Next question.
All right, so next question, guys. All right, we're going to move through this pretty, I ain't going to say quick, but I'm going to time you guys. We're going to give it about a minute and a half on each discussion, so get everything you need out.
You got the longest you got the longest pipe shot of all of us, man. Time yourself.
All right, so check this out. Who do you care more about, Drew Brees retiring or Phillip Rivers? Go.
Mark,
Drew Brees. Drew Brees. More. He means more to his city than probably any football player in the NFL. Easy.
I would say Drew Brees also, but Phillip Rivers just as much. I think Phillip Rivers brought to the game what Drew Brees did every day. I mean, he worked his butt off. I mean, he tried to win. I mean, he had a winning attitude from day one. I mean, he never gave up. And he never cried about anything. I mean, hell, he got 20 kids now. I think he's about that. So
yeah, they got that good
cable,
man.
20 kids in an NFL career. That means to me about as much as Brees carrying that city, city of New Orleans.
He's the real MVP.
Yeah, there's actually some supervisors at work that are from Louisiana. And I got family from Louisiana, and they talk about him winning a championship really meant
Yeah.
to that
Yeah,
city, and it'll
that
be
can
like
go to
that
the
for
Super
the
Bowl.
next 50 years or so. I mean, forever, you know. So I mean, it's you can compare both of them. I'd say I think it's the same. I think they brought something different to the game. So I mean, I think both of them, both of them hit pretty hard to me. So.
Are you guys investing into any of their rookie cards? Are you guys going to invest into the hobby on them, or do you think
I
the
have
hobby's going to get into them?
I have a few Breeze rookie cards I bought a few years ago. I
Yeah.
think one of them's a Sign of the Times, and then another rookie card. But I bought it when they were like cheap. So I
They're
mean,
still dirt cheap, man. You
Rivers.
can still go out there and buy a lot of stuff.
I mean, you can. Depends on what product. Rivers very cheap. Rivers, I liked him. I mean, I like him a lot, but I mean, he's
He
not
didn't win a Super Bowl.
IPC.
No ring, no love. Drew
Exactly.
Brees, baby. That's it.
Yep.
All right. So with that being said, we're over a minute and a half, but I had a two-part question, so I allowed you to go over a few seconds. All right.
So how do you get exempt from these questions? That's what should I ask the questions so you're not exempt?
Hey, look. I'll actually let you guys do most of the talking, and I'm just kind of like chiming in.
So where's yours?
I'm like,
Breeze or Rivers, man? Quick answer.
I said it very quickly. I said Breeze. I said no ring, no love. No ring,
Okay.
no love. I'm sorry. Phillip Rivers, good quarterback. Sorry. He's like Charles Barkley to me.
Yeah.
There you go.
Love.
No love, baby. All right. So, second question is very big right now because somebody literally just asked me today, man, help me find a Topps Chrome LeBron James rookie card. So, with that question, somebody literally an hour ago. So, the question I want to ask you guys is what is going on with LeBron James rookie card right now?
Gary V.
Gary V getting pumped up. He talked about it the other day, and they just pump up. They'll go back down. I mean, what's going to happen? They're going to spike their. I think one just went for 28K for a base 10. I mean, they're going to spike. I mean, they're probably going to get up to about 28 to 30, and then they're going to go back down. They're going to go back down maybe to 20 to 18 because when they spiked the first time between 20 about 20K, it went down all the way to 10. So it's going to happen again. So yeah, Gary V.
The Gary V effect.
The Gary V effect all day.
All right. So with that being said, I literally told the same person, man, just wait, be patient. The market is going to. I don't think that card is worth $30,000.
I don't think so
to
either.
be honest with you, I don't. So for the people that are out there that are listening, just be patient. Now, if we're talking about,
hold on. Yet. So it's not worth $30,000 right now, right? But it's going up there, and it'll actually self-correct itself and come down. But it'll get there again. Like nobody thought that.
I agree.
Like Trout rookie cards were gonna sell for $1 million. Like who would have ever thought that, right? LeBron James rookie cards, the exquisite, we're gonna sell for $3 million.
Right.
Whoever thought that? So you can't ever say that'll never get back there. But I do think that it's an inflated market. They'll come back down. It'll self-correct itself, and then they'll shoot back up, especially if it wins another ring.
I personally think the Topps Chrome LeBron is kind of like my dignity. Once it goes down, you can't get it back.
Next question, guys. Next question. All right, so with 2 games in, and I think we're working on our 3rd game and the reunion of Kyrie Irving with the Brooklyn Nets, what do you think of Harden at point guard over Kyrie, and how will it affect the hobby? The new addition of Harden to Brooklyn. How about that?
So the ball was getting stuck. So I was watching the game before we hopped on, and they have to bring him in just like they did the old school Thunder team, where Harden would come off the bench, so there's enough ball to go around. But when they were all 3 in the game, the ball gets stuck. There's no ball movement. So they really need a true facilitator, not a think first guard like Kyrie is holding the ball. So in order for that team to be successful, Harden has to be the point guard.
I agree. Harden, we're from Houston, so he as a point guard, he's a facilitator. I know people say he dribbles a lot and stuff like that, but he actually passes a lot too. And when it comes to big shots, he wants someone like KD and Kyrie to be there to take those shots. I mean, look at the Western Conference Finals where we could have made it to the finals, and we missed 27 threes in a row, and Harden took 0 of them. because he was passing the ball. So, I mean, I think that Harden needs to be a facilitator and come off the bench. And I think for the hobby, it's good. I mean, Kevin Durant's going up like crazy. I think Harden's undervalued. A lot of people hate on him. I mean, I've met him, I don't know how many times. I mean, a lot of times. In my opinion, he's a good guy. He's always been a good dude in the sense that, like, I mean, just talking, autographing, chopping it up. Like, he's been a nice guy. Never really said no. And even when he got famous, I mean, he was still signed. And I mean, he's a humble guy. I know he parties a lot, and people don't want him for that.
Yeah, but if he don't want to be here, he can get out.
Yeah,
so,
but with KD,
hey, good riddance to him, man.
It's
Get
like
to Brooklyn.
I compare if you were like you're playing high school, like they were playing when they first started in the hobby. I mean, first started, their careers together. I mean, it's like coming back and saying, "Man, I'm reconnecting with you after so."
Next question. All right, so look, all right, so the next question, I was gonna say something, but you guys pretty much said everything I wanted to say and more. So, I may address some things at the end of the show, but I'll just leave it. I'll leave it at that. All right, so next question: Patrick Mahomes on concussion protocol. Think he plays this weekend or not? Is it or is it too early?
He's gonna play, right? They don't win if he doesn't play, and I'd hate to see what his Cards do if he goes down with the injury, right? Because that old saying, do you buy, people that are established and go to the game, or do you buy up and comers that, got a potential to make you a lot of money in 10 years from now? So it actually does a little bit to his legacy that he's going to be injury prone. But aside from that, I think he really needs to come back and play this year, and you're going to still see his card start to go up or keep going up.
I disagree. I think that Mahomes has already made his mark in 3 years, won a Super Bowl already, MVP. I mean, what more can you get? I mean, he's already, in my opinion, on a track to be better than Brady, who a lot of people were already bashing him being a systems quarterback, where, I mean, I'm not even really a New England's fan, but I'm a Brady fan. And I was like, he's not a system quarterback. And you see it now. And same with Mahomes. Mahomes, you got to think about RG3. Whenever these people came back, they got hurt, I just think that, I think he'll know because he just signed that big contract, what his future holds, and he has a lot of playing time. Chad Henne is the undisputed GOAT, in my opinion, underrated. If you saw the game, the ending, I really think he can carry that team. I mean, they have such a great defense. A stacked defense. I think they can beat a Mahomes team. I mean, Mahomes, they can beat without Mahomes. They can beat.
Nope.
They can.
Not gonna happen.
Great. All right, so next question. I love your answers, by the way. It's like you guys make me want to intervene, but I'm not going to intervene. I'm like, let you guys have fun. No,
man, you don't have to go against me on every damn thing. Like, damn.
Buddy, I have to go because you are the protagonist.
It's like I say red, he says blue.
That is how green, he says work, yellow, man. We are going against each other, my friend. Thank you.
All right. So with the hobby being as crazy and hot as it is right now, at what point do you guys sell? I literally had this conversation with somebody this past weekend, and like, at what point do you sell? Is the time now?
It depends how much you. Oh, go ahead.
No, you're gonna go first this time, man. Because you always want to go against me every time.
It depends on what you're into, like your RO. It depends on what you want your R, like for example, your ROI to be. If you're what you're invested in. So if you're heavily invested in somebody,
can you tell people what the ROI is?
So ROI is return of investment. So for example, you spent $500 on
ROI.
Something. Yeah. So you say you spend $500 on something and you're making $500 back, and within like a month or two, or even quicker, you cash out and look for something else. I just think that just depends on what you're in for, what you want to get back, and who you PC really, and just like with money wise.
Hey, I can respect that. I think we talk about it a lot on this show, knowing your lane, right? So part of that knowing your lane is knowing what you want to do in the hobby. So when you come in, you understand what your lane is, you establish your goals, and if you have a card, right, you know what you want to get out of that card, and once you hit that plateau, forget about it. Never look back, sell it, and move on to the next thing.
Yep.
I like that very much, guys. So I'm a little different because we got a little time. I'm going to say this. I think it depends on the item. Some things that are not replaceable, I would hold on to, and I'm learning that as I continue down the path that I'm going. If I get a PSA 9 Jordan, I'm probably not going to sell it. I don't want to ever have to replace it again. I'll keep it and it may stay in my family for a while, and I'll probably continue getting rid of other things. So that's just my.
I got an 8.5 for you if you want to.
There you go. We'll work it out after the show. We'll work it out after the show. So the next question is, all right, who wins the Super Bowl?
Well, I mean, a lot of that has to deal with what happens this weekend, right? Does Mahomes play? Because I don't think if Mahomes doesn't play, I don't think they can beat the Bills. The Bills are too on fire. But even if Mahomes play and he gets to the Super Bowl, I still got Brady. I can't go against Brady, man. What that team is doing right now. I think they get past Green Bay this weekend too.
Who gets to the Super Bowl and who wins?
I really think that Rodgers, because a lot of people compare Rodgers to Brady, and I mean, you have analysts saying that he's the top 5 of all time, and he's only been to one Super Bowl. I just think that he to put a stamp on his legacy, he needs to beat Brady, and I think he knows that, and I think he does. I love Brady. I mean,
that's clickbait, man. That's clickbait. He's not top 5, man. I can name 5 quarterbacks that are better than that guy.
Tampa Bay got the best defense as far as takeaways, and Green Bay has the best offense. And I know defense wins, but I think Rodgers shows up and they find a way to win, and they win the Super Bowl.
Interesting. All right. Well, we still got a couple seconds left. Is there anything else you guys want to say?
No, you got this already. You got to put your 2 cents.
Yeah, put your 2 cents in, man.
Brady, baby. Brady's going to win.
The GOAT. That's it. Brady. I'm sorry. I'm riding with
Brady or Bavin,
Right. All right. So next question is, with the hobby being, the price of boxes costing so much, is it time for us to start getting into breaks as a consumer?
Been getting into breaks. I mean, it's a way to minimize risk and still potentially get high-end product. I think when I started back into the hobby and started looking at it more of a business, I hopped into a Prizm Fast Break for $100. Ended up putting a $1,600 card out of there, a Zion Blue Fast Break. So, I mean, for me, it's an easy way to come up. I mean, obviously, you can lose a lot of money too. It's a gamble, but it's an easier way to get into the Immaculates and the National Treasures of the world without breaking the bank.
I agree. I agree. I agree in the sense that
he's goading over there.
Breaks.
He's so excited. He's so excited.
And I know a lot of breakers, and there's 2 reasons like why I personally don't do breaks is because, one, there's so many new people in the hobby and so many new people breaking, and they just don't know how to break. Number 1. All right.
I agree with that.
And what comes with that too are scammers. You got breakers that just scam the heck out of people. Pricing.
I think there's somebody at my door. Hold on.
Y'all be making fun of that forever. So you got breakers that are scamming. You got breakers that don't know what they're doing. Shipping cards and just not even in plastic. I mean, it's amateurs. And then the second thing is, I don't do I just don't do breaks. I now, because of box prices, yes, find a good breaker and spend your money that way when you can. But also try to like I said, go to Walmart. I mean, like retail. People get on the retail side, but I mean, there's so many people just hounding retail too. So I
mean, these aren't supposed to be biographies, man.
It is not science, okay?
Yeah, well, I look, Mark, I didn't want to cut him off. He's a guest, so I didn't want to cut him off. He's over by like 20 seconds, but that's okay. That's okay.
I thought you were long-winded, man. You're real long-winded.
Discount, buddy. Thank you.
All right, so we talked about Gary Vee earlier. My next question is the Gary Vee effect. Do you guys like it or no?
I personally like it, right? Because honestly, if you have the product that he's looking to buy, he's actually a real buyer. There's that point, right? And then the other thing is you have a lot of residuals that come around from that and just boost the hobby. And then when they come in and they look at the LeBron James, they start looking at the Kevin Durant, and look at the Jordans, everything has a residual effect, ripple effect from that. So I love it.
Okay, great.
I like it too. I like it. I know a lot of people that don't like it in the sense that they think he's pumping up cards and stuff, but he's a real investor. You got to think about it from an investment perspective, that he is a real investor. He invests in cards, and this is what he does. So whenever he shouts out people's names and they go crazy and nuts, There's a lot of undervalued people too, that he's actually helping get their true value in a sense. So I think it's actually pretty good for the hobby all around, honestly. So.
I agree, but just so you guys know that are listening and watching, if you're new to the hobby, please believe if Gary V mentions the name, he had already started buying them already.
Yep.
So like don't think that he's just buying it while it's hot. He was buying LeBron James top scroll PSA 10s when they were $10,000 and buying them in volume and now sells them at 30. You're making 20, you're making 3 times your return in a month. I don't think you guys understand that. That is ridiculous. So the people that are listening, if you know your lane good enough and you are able to be in that lane where you can do those type of things, you can make a lot
You
of
gotta
money
leverage it.
for amount of time. You can make
You
a lot
gotta
of money.
leverage your. You gotta. He's leveraging his influence, man.
Correct.
Basically, I mean, he's already done it multiple times, and he's seen the residual effects of it, man. So he knows his lane pretty good, I think.
Yep. I wish I could say Josh Jackson.
Man, that guy, I had like 6 of his RPAs, man. I was about to throw them away and burn them, man. I'm not gonna
No, I sold a few, but I'm not gonna. I have a few left. I'm gonna sell. But all right, next question: have we seen the cap on the market yet?
No, nowhere near. Nowhere
You
near the
guys were
cap.
short answer with that one. That was a short answer. That's it. No explanation.
I mean, do you want? I mean, we got to keep it short. We only have a minute and a half. But I mean, hindsight, right? Hindsight will teach you that whenever you think you hit the cap, you hit the ceiling. There's another plateau, and with all these investors coming in, they're going to leverage the market, and that they're actually going to pump it up. And we haven't seen the top of it yet.
Okay.
I think my buddy is very, very right here. I think that there's so many new investors coming in, and there's billionaires, not millionaires. There's billionaires in the
Yeah,
industry
there's venture
that are
capitalists coming in now.
investing. I mean, I talked to people before the pandemic. Their bosses who are multi-billionaires wanted to invest. So if you think about that before the market shot off the way it did, and it's one of those nostalgic things, kind of like collecting memorabilia. People they want more assets, right? So instead of the stock market, like my dad does the stock market, he's been doing it for like 40 years. They want other places to invest and then liquidate when they need. And this is literally probably the second best thing from the stock market you could get.
Wow. Great answers, guys. So you're absolutely right. Gary Vee did a video about it recently saying that the market has not peaked yet and is only getting started. I think you guys are absolutely right. We did a segment, if you guys check the previous podcast, about the businesses that are joining into the hobby and the people that are literally building companies to invest into the hobby. So for the listeners out there and the viewers, just know that you are in the midst of some great things happening in the hobby. So
shout out to all. Shout out to Alt though. We're gonna go ahead and give them a plug, man.
Yeah, shout out to
Alt because they're one of the first ones to come in and make the biggest splash. So shout out to them for sure.
Oh yeah, you're absolutely right about that. So I'm gonna give you guys this question here is a little. I think you guys have to go to put your thinking caps on a little bit. So I'm gonna give you guys a minute and a half to go back to 2019 draft, NBA draft, and I want you guys to decide Ja or Zion, and also put your top 5 players together and redraft based upon what you know right now in the hobby.
It's kind of hard because if you're gonna take out need, right? If we're talking about best player available, right? Hands down, to me, it's been John Morant, right? He wins Rookie of the Year. He's explosive as heck. For me, I'm taking John Morant, and I know Zion is a beast, man, but I'm taking John Morant, the safer bet.
What's the rest of the 4 players though?
Yeah,
it's all right. I'm just gonna say with John Morant, man.
So that's it.
So you have Morant as 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5.
Well, I'm gonna go Morant Zion, man. How about that?
Okay, we'll live with that.
I think Zion was the number 1 pick and should have been the number 1 pick even now. Zion was hurt from the beginning. He's still need. I mean, if you look, I was looking at a game the other day. He's just too athletic. I mean, he's just the stuff that he does. I mean, like someone his weight, height. he's not supposed to be able to do that. He kind of reminds me of Shaq. The way he moves. I mean, he's a beast. It'll give him a little bit more time. Morant, in my opinion, he ain't that great. I would have drafted him number 4, to be honest with you.
So who's number 2?
Who's number 2?
Zion, Keldon Johnson.
Oh.
And then I don't know. Number 3 probably would have been. Dang, 1920 is a good draft.
Barrett, Reddish, Hunter. I mean, all them guys go into.
Who you like?
List, so.
I don't know. I'll put Morant number 3. How about that? I'll put Keldon Johnson above Morant. But I think Morant is great. I mean, Rookie of the Year. I mean, the way he plays. Really, he should be number 2. I'm just putting number 3 just for fun. So,
all right.
Let me ask you guys. Who's your top 5?
Redrafted. Let's hear it.
Yeah, what's your redraft?
All right, so I'm gonna say Ja Morant number 1. I'm gonna say Zion number 2. I'm probably going to say, this is tricky. It's without saying a specific team. I'm just gonna say based upon what I like. Oh man, this is tricky.
How you guys gonna disagree? How you gonna disagree? Have all questions and then don't have the answer to the question?
Well, that's not. It's because this is subjective. So it's one of those things. It's subjective. So I'm going to go on a limb and I'm going to say DeAndre Hunter.
Right. Okay.
I'm going to say DeAndre Hunter. I'm going to say DeAndre Hunter's number 3.
He was already 3, wasn't he?
No, he was number 4 actually.
Okay.
RJ Barrett was number 3.
Okay.
Then I'm going to say RJ Barrett would be number 4, and I'll say Keldon Johnson's number 5.
Okay, so you're throwing Cam Reddish out the window.
Yeah.
I'm not saying Cam Reddish is out the window. I'm just going based upon performance right now and what I've seen and what I like. That's all.
Okay.
So that's
gotcha, man.
All right. So next question is, we talked about contenders football. Has Kobe Bryant basketball cards peaked yet?
Heck no. Heck no. You see what LeBron James is doing, right? You're going to see exactly the same trends start to happen for Kobe, man. And he has 2 more levels to go. And I've said it here once and say it here again. You're going to see after the documentary, after Hall of Fame, he's going to triple in price. So go buy him up while you still can.
So Kobe's going up.
I think Kobe's going up. I like Mark said. You got the documentary, you got the Hall of Fame induction. They haven't begun the peak yet.
I don't know, man. I'm not gonna say they've peaked, but I will say that the market is really saturated with Kobe Bryant stuff, man. I'm not gonna lie to you. I don't know if it's peaked. I don't think it can go much more higher than what it is on certain cards. I'll say that certain cards. Like if you're talking about Topps PSA 10 cards, I can't see Topps PSA 10 cards being $10,000. I just can't.
No, I agree with you. I agree.
I can't.
Cards, there's certain cards that basically
Topps PSA card. You don't think he can get to 10K? He's limited. So he's limited by what's available, right? They didn't have 18 different products for you to choose from with very parallels from different products. This is a flagship product, and I tell you right now, by the time the documentary and the Hall of Fame hit, those cards are going to be doing $8,000 to $9,000. You heard it here first.
You're getting recorded right now, so I'm gonna come back to this in years to come, and I'm gonna say I told you, so. or not. Either way.
So all right. So I think Topps Chrome was going to get there. This is my 2 cents. Topps Chrome could be whatever it wants to be.
20K.
But it's already almost there anyway. PSA 10s are already 20K.
Oh, there you go. So why wouldn't the Topps get half of that? And some people like the non-greening effect that comes with Topps Chrome cards, and it's a lot cleaner card. So
it's probably 5,000. It's probably, I'm sorry, not even 5. It's probably 10,000 Topps Kobe Bryant rookie cards.
Okay, so what is LeBron doing right now?
High pop. But
I don't think LeBron has 10,000 Topps rookie cards. I don't think it's that many.
What is he doing right now, though?
I mean, he's going up. I mean, I'm not going to sit here and lie to you. He's going up. But I feel like I don't think that Kobe gets there. That's just my 2 cents. Hey, that's it. All right, so Next thing is this is a good question. Are we in the junk box era 2.0?
I think that there's some
Wait,
junk product that's out there, but there's still some quality product. So I'm gonna say no.
I
There's
think
two.
I think we're close because you have new product like Tmall. Now Tmall came out with every product of Tmall. You got baseball products crossing over each other. I mean, what happened with the junk era? The original is that they came out with so much product. But the one thing that we have now that we don't have then is that we have limited product in the sense that numbered. You have a lot of stuff that are numbered 100 less, 25 less, 10 less. So I think that helps the hobby a lot. But I think Panini just they be pumping up product left and right. If they don't slow down, they're it's gonna crash. I mean that's my opinion.
I mean, I don't think they can replicate what they just did this year with Zion with this
Yeah,
market with.
They're gonna try.
I mean,
They're
that's
gonna try.
and to me that's the question that's the problem to me. I feel like we focus on more of the quality of the product and like golly, man, like Don Russ is $1,000. We're already starting off with this product. What was the other one?
quality over quantity.
NBA hoops.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
I
Over
guess I
quantity.
hear what you're saying. We're really close, right? If they think that they're gonna get $1,000 for a Donruss
Yeah.
box, then we're really close because there's no way in hell that
It,
I
it,
ever
it,
spend a
it
thousand
depends
bucks
on
on a Donruss
consumers.
box.
If consumers say, "Hey, we're not going to buy it," then they go down on price. But when you have consumers out there like breakers who can fill the product at X amount of dollars, guess what? They're going to keep on boom, boom, pumping it out. That's how these. Why do you think hoops is as high right now? Because they
Mhm.
already pre-ordered so many
You're
people
absolutely right.
pre-ordered like crazy, and so they just like what they pre-ordered this much. Well, let's pump it up even more because we've already sold out. We got more.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? So that's
Yeah, but look what happened to Chronicles basketball right this year. It got all the way up to 1,200 bucks. Now you can find it for 600 bucks. So the market is going to do itself a service and correct itself, and it's going to be the same thing with Don Russ.
On the quality of products, I agree. Because when I never liked Chronicles. I never liked
yeah.
Chronicles for the records. Go ahead.
I like certain inserts in Chronicles, but as a
Yeah,
product
remember
as a
that box we
whole,
opened? Remember that box we
it's
opened?
not good.
I liked a few of the stuff in Chronicles, but yeah, like
Yeah,
you
the
said,
Prism updates were dope. The Flux are dope, right?
Correct.
So there's two products within Chronicles that are great, but it got all the way up to $1,200 a box, right? Now Blowout can give it away at $650. Like there's so many people that bought in at $800 a box in cases, and they're getting drugged. They're drowning in that product. They're not going to release it until this draft class sucks and it inflates again, and then they'll start to release it again at the price point that they bought it at.
Correct. I agree with what you guys are talking about. So the question is, are we in the junk area box? I'm sorry, junk box era 2.0. Yes or no?
We're heading into there, man. I think we're on the premise of it.
yeah,
I think
Okay.
it's knocking on the door. I don't think we're all the way in there, but I think we're knocking on the door for sure.
I don't think we're there yet, but we're close. We're getting there.
All right, great. So this should be an easy question. PSA or BGS?
PSA, all the way. PSA.
I'd have to agree, PSA. Although
PSA.
I don't know. I think PSA has their quality, and then BGS has their quality. There's a guy on the group. Literally, there's this guy. I mean, because he PCs a lot of people, and he loves PSA 10 so much, he actually cracked BGS 10 labels, and he crossed them over to PSA 10 because he likes PSA 10 better.
Right.
So
He don't care about the value.
can I throw
what?
out can I throw out just something out there? What if PSA did sub grades?
I'm okay with them doing subgrades as long as I can scan the back of the bar or the card and look online and see what the subs are based upon the scan. They don't even have to do anything extra.
Yeah.
But I would say to answer the question, which is BGS versus PSA, I'm going to say BGS 10 black label over PSA. Period.
That wasn't the question, man. That was not the question. Of course, you're gonna hop in and tie your shoes while we done step through shit over here, and of course, you're gonna add that little bit of spice into there, man. Of course, everybody is gonna prefer a black label over a PSA 10, man. Come on now. We're
Hey, man,
talking
I
about
got
just overall.
all right. Well, I like BGS 10, so that's
Well, I
I
like
don't. I mean,
BGS 10s
all right.
too, but that
Well,
wasn't the question.
I've learned to go where the market goes, and the market prefers PSA 10s. That's what the market loves.
Yeah.
So I try not to go against the grain, and that's where I'm at right now. So
Yep.
all right. So next question is PSA related. What's the future of PSA, and what I'm sorry, what's the future of PSA like in a perfect world?
Again, I think we hit it on the nail a little bit. I like to be able to scan the barcode and automatically be able to see the pop report. I think that's pretty cool because if you go on Beckett, you go on PSA and you try to look up the pop report, man, you're on there. You're unless you have like 10 gigabit, 10 terabyte internet, you're gonna be there all day trying to look up a pop report. So I like what they did. But if they add where you can go on and look at the certain subgrades, I think by far they're going to be the premier grading service and put a lot of other companies out of business.
So Nat Turner heard that first here on PrizmGawds podcast. Basically, that we want you to be able to scan and be able to see your subgrades. Oh
I
yeah,
think y'all heard about CGS, right? Am I saying it right? CGS.
I think so. Yeah, that's the
Yeah.
comic book company, right? The
Yes.
company
So
does
they're
right.
number one comics, number two in coins. So they're starting their grading service in a month or two, and they took two people who've been with BGS for a long time to head their sports department, their card department. So they're actually going to start doing, grading, and apparently they're. I mean, they're really good with coins and with with comics. So I think, and they have a software that could scan and see whether a card has been altered or not. So
Wow.
that's
Oh, wow.
so that's
So
good.
so in a perfect world, what do you think of what is PSA going to look like for you in a perfect world?
In a perfect world, I couldn't tell you. I couldn't tell you honestly in the perfect world what they look like.
Here's
Oh, so
here's
you got a lot to say about everything, but you don't have a lot to say about that? Come on, man.
No, I don't grade much, man. I really don't. Like, I mean,
all right.
I don't.
Fair enough.
I don't have the opinion, my friend. I'm sorry.
It's okay. It's okay. All right. So I'm gonna just throw some ideas out here real quick. Imagine PSA having different locations across the United States. Maybe you have one in Texas. You already have one in California. Maybe you have one in, let's say, a central location in East Coast. Maybe you have one in Georgia, right? Where you can literally mail something. It gets to somebody in a day, and they have three different facilities where they can actually grade within a really good time. Grade. The times that they say a 20 day is really a 20-day. A 5 day is really a 5 day, and a 2 day is really a 2 day, and you're able to really know what's going on. I think we lost Bobbin. Did we lose Bobbin? Did we lose him?
Yeah, man. I think he didn't have anything to say about PSA, so we lost him.
That's fine. Well, I'm sure we'll come back. But for the listeners and the viewers out here, I just imagine PSA being in a better space where you can do more. You can get the cards back within a timely fashion. I like the serial thing. I actually would like to see PSA implement some type of like a pristine condition, like like their own version of Black Label. I know we're gonna have Mike Baker on here in a couple weeks, and we're gonna probably talk about some things maybe for the future. I know he may be working with PSA. I don't know what they have going on, but we'll talk about that in the future. What's up, Vic? I know my boy Vic just said what's up to us. So what's going on, Vic? While we're waiting on Bobbin to come back, we can address a couple questions real quick. I think Adam Chin mentioned something in reference to a better play for Topps Chrome. If you have the money, I think Topps Chrome is definitely a better play. I think he's talking about in reference to
Kobe.
Right. Yep, it's correct. The Kobe Bryant rookies. Justin Driver also mentioned from our when we were talking about redrafting, he talked about Eric Pascal.
Yeah.
So he talked about Eric. No, Eric Pascal is not bad at all. It's just we were talking about the top five picks. I don't know. It's hard to really. And I ain't gonna lie to you. It was hard for me to say John Morant.
But coming into this year, we talked about some of our dark horses coming in, and the one that actually disappoints me the most is Culver, man. I thought he was going to come in and make a bigger splash than what he's done, But you have guys like Bosley that are coming in still in the spotlight. You have guys like Keldon Johnson who were, on the cusp of doing great things. But then you have like Jackson Hayes who hasn't done much this year. You have Nikhil Walker Alexander or Alexander Walker. I think he's a bright spot in that draft class as well. But
Correct.
Brandon Clark has actually been disappointing as well this year.
Very much.
And so I think that there's guys in the hobby that we were expecting great things coming into the season that haven't necessarily lived up to that potential. What about that Chumo Kiki investment that we heard about
Woo!
was supposed to take a big boom?
Rookie of the
And
year.
he
So
hasn't done much. And I think Bo as well, was supposed to come in, be a rookie of the year candidate this year, and we haven't heard much of him as well. So again, I think that there's a few people that have actually underwhelmed in this draft that we were actually hoping to come out and do great things. So sometimes you hit a home run, sometimes you hit a single, man, and sometimes you strike out. So it's a part of knowing, doing research and being educated on what you're buying and what you're getting yourself into. We
correct.
talk about it all the time, and this is a perfect case scenario on that.
Yep, you're absolutely right. Jackson Hayes actually had spurts of playing well. Chumo Kiki's injured. He's been injured for like the last couple weeks now. I think he's going to be gone for a month or so. Let's see. So I'm trying to think who else was kind of disappointed. Jared Culver, because you mentioned Jared Culver. Jared Culver they brought in another rookie. D'Angelo Russell has to have the ball in his hand most of the time. He has like three people who demand the ball in his hand, and he was known in college as being a shooter. So now he's trying to figure out some things. So I don't know if he's quite a disappointment yet. I think it's
I
just
didn't say disappointing. I said coming into like his performance so far has been under
Got you.
performed.
That makes sense. That makes sense. All right. So if you guys have any questions while we're waiting on Bavin to come, Bavin to come back, I say it right.
Yeah, you got it right, Bavin.
Bavin.
Take the H out of there, man.
Bavin.
Yeah.
Bavin.
Call him whatever the heck you want, man. He ain't gonna give a darn.
No, I'm just kidding, man. I'm just gonna call him B. What up, B? All right. So if you guys have any questions for the viewers and the listeners that are out there, feel free to ask any questions while we're waiting on him to come back. We'll try to talk to you guys anything that you guys have. I guess it's a live show, so we, when things happen, technical difficulties.
My screen froze up. How's that Nets and Cleveland game going, man? I know that we started off the show talking about Harden, and before we hopped on, we talked about that, man. Have they figured out how to move that ball around a little bit?
Honestly, I told you what I felt. My 2 cents on the Brooklyn Nets is James Harden has to play point guard. I actually didn't say that earlier, but he has to play point guard. He's if you watch the game, let's see, Kyrie Irving has 25 points and 3 assists. Kevin Durant has 26 points, 8 rebounds, and 6 assists. James Harden has 10 points, 6 rebounds, and 7 assists, and he's shooting 3 from 8. I think with James Harden not having the ball in his hands, he doesn't have the rhythm that he would if he had the ball in his hand. I think that they should probably. I would probably entertain moving Kyrie Irving.
Well, I mean, he was already having that kind of that Alfred phase there, where he wasn't too happy with the direction of the team. But are they winning? Because the last time I checked, they were down.
They're losing to Sexland.
Yep, we're in the fourth quarter already.
Yep, they're losing to Sexton. Colin Sexton and the other guy's not even playing. And Kevin, Garland. Yeah, he's not even playing, but they're losing. But I mean, shout out to Cleveland though. They have a really big team. They have like 3 or 4 big men. I think they got Jared Allen.
Oh, that dude was balling, man. He was blocking everybody's shots when I was watching right before we hopped on.
Yeah, they have Drummond. They got Larry Nance. They got Jared Allen. They got JaVale McGee. And Kevin Love. I mean, golly, they got 5 big men who potentially are good. All right, so I guess we're probably end up continuing. We try to wait for Bavin as much as we could, but in this case, the show must go on. The show must go on. So for the many people,
just the 2 of us again, man. Just the 2 of us.
And it looks like Bavin said he's going to reboot his computer, probably be on very shortly. So while we're waiting, we're going to talk about the next subject. So with that being said, we talked about PSA was talk perfect world. All right, so this is a really good question, right? Because we talked about this a couple of days ago, me and you. Yeah. Many of you guys that follow me on my Instagram know that I I came back home from Saturday. I opened up my Kobe Mosaic snakeskin pack, and I was fortunate enough to pull the Stephen Curry gold and also the Cam Reddish Black Mamba 101. And for many people, when you're pulling something that has no comps, because like that product is something we've never seen before because they've never had a product that was dedicated towards somebody else, and we were really trying to figure out value. I had a lot of people hitting me up left and right about trying to buy things from me, and I was real adamant about selling anything until I figured out what I wanted to do. So, with that being said, the question I want to know is, how do you figure out the value of something that has no comps?
Yeah. And we kicked that can down the street a little bit. We have for the last couple of days. Um, and my thoughts. We're talking in retrospect, perspective to that card. Was I mean, yes, I get that it's a gimmick product, and there's a lot of story that goes behind this product, and it tends to drive the price up a little bit. But at the end of the day, it's a 6 pack card of Mosaic, pretty similar to what a first off the line I think would do, or a choice would do. And so you look at cards like Peacocks, you look at cards like Black Golds, you look at cards like Nebulas that come out of those packs, and I would say that it trends pretty similar to them. But obviously, there's not a lot of one-on-one of those products walking around, right? And if they do, they're sold privately. They're sold, backdoored or something to other collectors, and we never know about it. So generally, what you like to do is you look at the hobby, you look at someone who's comparable, right? And I think me and you, we kicked it around a little bit, and we said, okay, who's similar to Reddish? We came up with Bosley, right? Their cards are kind of trending in the same direction, but even when you look at Bosley, you're not going to find too many one-on-ones of that. So to me, rule of thumb is you look at who the people are that you're looking to sell. You look at people who are comparable to them. You look at who they're comparable to them on the next level up. And you probably can take a percentage of that, and you start to kind of gauge price range on where you feel comfortable at. Obviously, a card is always only going to be worth what somebody's willing to pay. You hear that all the time, and I think I think you as a seller, or the person who owns this card is going to be able to establish that kind of ballpark, and you can command whatever side of that ballpark where you want to be at on it.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. So, with that being said, so the question was again, how do you figure out the value of something that has no comp? So, if you're so for the people that are listening and the people that are viewing, if you buy a new product, so what's the new product coming? I think Contenders Football comes out tomorrow, right?
Yeah.
So, if I open up a box, I think I get my boxes tomorrow, and I think I'm going to probably YouTube them and put them on a YouTube show. So, if I open up a box and I turn around and I pull a cracked ice Justin Herbert, I'm trying to figure out what's it worth. Typically, what I try to do is find somebody that's comparable from the year before's class, or somebody that's like we try to figure out with the Bosley and the comparison between Bosley and Cam Reddish. We try to figure out somebody who's in that class or the year before's class. Like we always said, like this year we had John Zion. So last year we compared Trey and Luca, and
Yeah.
that's what we kind of figured out the market was going to be on these guys. So I say try to find out somebody that's comparable. If you can wait for something to pop up on auction, cool. If you can't, if hey, I just want to move it, sell it for what you're happy with. But shout out to the guy who sold a snakeskin gold LeBron James for $2,000. I mean, I'm just saying it's probably. I mean, you and I both know after seeing comps after that, it's well worth more than $2,000. So
Correct.
sometimes patience is a virtue, just waiting for the right situation and trying to figure out what's going on. So that's just my answer for it.
But I mean, there's two sides to every coin, right? So there on the flip side of that, right? You can find some people that are really hungry, and that's what you always find with new products that come out. Is that you tend to see the market at its really high peak point, and then it starts to kind of naturally work its way down as more product gets introduced to the market, and so it naturally the old adage of supply and demand. And so as much as more becomes available, the prices start to go down. But
Right.
you know, you
In this
sell it right then
situation,
and
though,
there.
it's different because everything is numbered to 24 or less. So
Yeah,
it's a
but
little different.
no, but I hear you, brother, man. But again, to me, and I gave you my opinion, man. It's like Mosaic Choice to me. I mean, same concept. Those cards are numbered to different. Obviously, they're a lot higher, so I wasn't comparing it to one of the reds out of '88 or a red green that's supposed to be short printed. But again, it's one of those products that it's still mosaic at the end of the day.
Right. Absolutely. Absolutely. Okay. So the next question that I have is Tiger Woods. Let's see. All right. I think we have Bavin back. Let's double check. Let's go back to the secret vault. Is Bavin back?
What's
Bob.
up? Sorry, guys.
Bob.
Oh man! I mean, that's the first time when somebody else has fell off. I'm usually the one that falls off. I'm glad you're on this week, Bobin. I don't look that bad this week.
Hey, my wife, she had like 20 apps. She had 20 freaking things on the.
Of course, you don't blame it on the wife, man.
I have to. I have to.
Well, welcome back.
If you don't blame it on the wife. Actually,
welcome back. Well, the question that we just asked, you missed it a second ago, was, and I'll ask. I'll give you a moment to ask since you're a guest this week.
You get 20 seconds, though.
Yeah. All right.
25.
How do you figure out the value of something that has no comps?
You just go by. Honestly, I go by people they've been selling. I mean, honestly, people go by comps, but if you look, what I do too. The one thing I do, I'll hit up people on eBay, and I'll say, well, what's the lowest you'll take, or what are people been offering you, and I'll use that like for the Jordan I got. I asked this guy, and he has the same one up, and he's asking 23.5 or best offer. And I said, well, what have you been getting? And he told me I've been turning down $20,000. So then I use that kind of like, okay, well, I feel like I can get X amount for mine. So I use other people on eBay. I know some of them kind of just say, hey, I got, you know what I mean? But, you trying to give them the benefit of the doubt. And also, you use kind of like a grading scale, I guess, for example, this Kevin Durant I got, it's the 25. So there was an auction yesterday that it was, so this is a BGS 8.5, but it has really good subs except the corners. So it's out of 25. So a 1 out of 199.
Very interested in it.
Yeah. Okay. So there's 1 out of 199 BGS 9 just did 4,300 last night. So I asked some people that know about cards very well what that's worth now, and they tell me anywhere between 8 and 9,500. So I mean, there's a lot of people who've been in this hobby for a long time. So I kind of get advice from these people, and they're pretty accurate. So I use there's multipliers for baseball, and there's for basketball too. So I use that as comps. But yeah, I'll hit up people on eBay honestly and say, well, what would you take? What would you take right now? So I mean, really, it's really what you would pay. What someone was going to pay for your card, really. So.
But that's more geared towards if the market is saturated with other cards, right? So sure. I guess the question, you might not have heard it. He pulled a 101 Cam Reddish Mosaic Black Mamba 101, right?
Right.
And so the question is, how do you come up with the value for something that isn't on the market? So yeah, that makes sense for Jordan that there's 1,000 of them out there for 8.5 PSA 8.5 now. So how do you come up with a comp? Because you can't. Not everybody's walking around with the Cam Reddish 101. So how would you come up with a comp for that?
Your comp is basically what someone would be willing to pay for it. I mean, honestly, there's no comp. When you have a 1 of 1 card that's literally a 1 of 1, there's not a comp. There's nothing really to follow. I mean, you can follow the guidelines of that product itself, what other 1 of 1s have been doing, and you can gauge the player, the talent. So if you think Cam Reddish is putting up really good numbers, you can kind of do a grade scale on like the top 10 players, and if someone's sold someone in like the number 5 spot, right, and say he's number 7 like overall or something, then you can kind of grade it by that, like a grade.
It's pretty similar to what we said. We're good.
Oh, buddy.
Thank you, Bobin.
Oh, you're welcome, my friend.
He's so smart, man. So smart. All right, so with Tiger Woods down right now, how does that affect his legacy? Now, if anybody's been paying attention to the Tiger Woods market, we do know that he went on a uptick for like a week, and then now he's almost back to normal. and I know he just recently just got injured. So how does that? I mean, what do you guys think that affects his legacy at all?
But a lot of that started to trick up because a documentary just got released on him, man. So I don't know if you guys have had a chance to look at it. I'm actually gonna probably look at it after the podcast. But the documentary came out. It's the ups and downs, and the career of progression of Tiger Woods. And so I mean, honestly, he started to trend down with the injuries and then the scandal, right? So those two things contributed to him going down. Now, Tiger Woods is always going to be the best golfer, in my opinion. Now, the only reason why I ever picked up a golf plug and went outside and played or bought a golf game was because of Tiger Woods. So there's more that he means to the hobby, to that sport, to people all across the world who started playing sports or playing golf because of him and what he had, the influence that he had. So I think that once he retires and stops playing, wherever he kind of falls away from Jack Nicklaus, I think will kind of tell the story. But to me, he's the greatest golfer of all time and probably the greatest golfer that we'll see in a long time.
I agree. I think he's the greatest golfer ever. Yeah, he's been going down. I didn't know. I actually didn't watch the documentary yet. I know it just came out. I had bought a 2001 SP Authentic hobby box, and below it has him as at 5K, and I got it on auction for like 1,700, and I thought, wow, that's so cheap. But now I know why, because he's injured. He went back down. I didn't, his UD upper deck rookie card was doing like crazy numbers, and then it just kept on going up. His BGS 10 went from like 600 to like 1,800 at one point. So I guess it went back down, back to like 600-700 with their app. But yeah, in my opinion, he's the greatest golfer ever.
I agree.
Yeah, I think the scandal, hurt him a little bit, but I mean, when you talk about his game, hands down the best. Nicholas second. But yeah, he's the greatest. So
I agree. So we got two more questions, and then we're going to give the people that are watching and viewing some time to answer questions. So I think I'm going to save this question for last, but I have one good question. I'm going to start off with this one. What is the best entry level product for the average consumer to get into that will hold value?
Prism Retail.
Prism Retail like 5,000 a box, man. I mean, we're talking about intro.
No, I'm saying not hobby. Prism Retail. So if you can go down to your local Target or local Walmart, I see a lot of the stipulations that they're starting to put on a lot of these stores. Limit 1, limit 2 per customer to actually give a lot of people opportunity to buy a lot of the product. And I think as that starts to be implemented across the country, I think it's going to be readily available to normal consumers to walk inside a Target like they used to and to be able to pick up one of these boxes. So entry level flagship products like tops for baseball, and then you got Prism. I don't think they sell optic in retail, but Prism actually would be an interesting way to get into the hobby with retail.
They sell optic for retail, by the way.
Yeah, they do. Yeah, I think optic. I think Prism, and like you said, for flagship for baseball, you got your tops, you got your, update series 2, series 1, and that's what a lot of people depends on the rookie, what year, some of them come out on update, some come out on series 1, series 2. For example, Kuna and Soto, they came out on update, whereas Tatis came out in series 1. So actually, I bought a lot of 19 update thinking Tatis was in there, but he wasn't. I'm like, well, why am I buying? But I mean, there's other rookies.
But you got Vlad in there now, and he's starting to go up.
You got Vlad, so I think he'll go up. A lot of people have been buying him lately too because he's just so down. I mean, you can't.
And they just picked up Springer, so shout out to Toronto Blue Jays picking up my hometown guy, Springer and Michael Brantley.
Boo, boo! They picked both of them up. I'm not a Houston fan no more. They got rid of Harden. They got rid of Springer, Brantley. If they get rid of Watson, I'm going to move to Canada.
All right. So guys, I saved this question for the last for a reason. So I want to see what you guys think. The last question out of 21 questions. I'm sorry, this is not even 21 questions. Actually, I think I only have 20. Maybe it's 20. I think I deleted.
We have 2 more. We have 2 more.
Okay. Well, here's one. Vintage or modern day cards, which do you like better?
I'm gonna let Bobbin go first.
The biggest upside, I mean, What I like the I don't know. I'm more of a modern person because I just like modern. I mean, you got so many different kinds of product, and you got so many different parallels and numbered cards. But I have a lot of friends that love vintage because it's vintage. I mean, these are cards that from way back when, and I mean they're gaining value. They're going up every day, and they're going to continue to go up. A lot of people underestimate vintage, but vintage is skyrocketing and it's going to keep on going up. So I
Agreed.
mean, I like vintage in the sense that when I started collecting and stuff, I was reading when I was a kid, baseball books, basketball books, and so like the history of the game, So you go back to card collecting, you look at the history. I mean, you look at these pictures, of like Babe Ruth, I mean, baseball and then basketball with like George Mikan, Will Chamberlain, like these old school, like 61 Fleer is literally like probably the most expensive basketball box you will ever find in your life if you can even find it. I mean, things like that to me, it just means a lot to me because of, growing up and really reading about the history and appreciating, the actual sport itself. So me, I'm torn. I'm really torn. I'm torn, honestly.
So I asked the question, what is vintage now, right? So if we talk about if we've been in the game or been collecting for a long time now, is Kobe Bryant 1996 vintage now? I mean, that's 24 years old, 25 years old, right?
Yes.
So I mean, if that's considered vintage now, then for me, that 96, 97, 98 sets that came out during that era, they're the best inserts ever, right? So if you're telling me to pick between the modern day Prism refractors and those sets that came out during that time, I'm going to take them sets all day long, right? But I do enjoy the modern stuff.
Yeah, I agree. I agree with you.
Yeah, that's
but that
answer,
era.
bro. I love that. That's a good question. I mean, well, it's a good answer, should I say. I do like the if we're thinking about vintage in relative to 96, 95, 96, because it's over 20 years at this point, I agree. I do I do miss those because it was for me, that was high school years. That was when I was in high school. So for me, and I'm telling my age a little bit, but it's high school. I miss those times. I mean, I couldn't afford to buy Topps Chrome basketball back then. I was probably buying Topps and what was it, SP, or what was it? What was the one that was Upper Deck? It was a cheap.
Man,
it was
hoops. Imagine hoops being $20 a box back
Metals
in the day.
Universe.
Now you're talking about $1,000 for an NBA hoops box.
Miller
Get out of here, man.
Yeah, back then packs were like $5, and it's like, what, $5 a pack? That's expensive. Back in like, like 5.
Man,
I was buying an expensive pack, $5 a pack. I mean,
yep, what, $300 a box? Well, I think $300 a box for something that was expensive. Topps Finest might have been like $300. I think I don't remember.
I think it was like $125 to like
$100, $100 to $200. You know what the most expensive product back in the day used to be? Flair Showcase, man.
Yeah,
and
Showcase,
it's probably it
Flair
used to be so expensive, and that was like $350 a box, right? Now you're talking about Now you're talking high-end products being $4,000, $10,000. Look at what Eminence did. Eminence did what, $40,000-$50,000 for a box? Come on, man.
Regulars up to regular people bought them at $12,500, and then they sold them, like pre-sold them for like up to $18,000. The people who didn't want to hold on to them. Now they're at $36,000.
That's ridiculous.
Card box case.
Ridiculous.
10 card. You can't even pull anything out that's going to get you your money back. I mean, what is Zion going to sell?
It's not even better than NT. National Treasures is so better and it's so cheaper. You know what I mean? I mean, you got your true RPA. So someone asked me the other day, well, why is NT less, but Eminence is more, but NT's worth is more? Because it's number one, it's what people have been collecting for years, old school. It's like Bowman, right? When green is the 99 Bowman Chrome, whereas blue is the 150. Blue is worth more because green came out later. Black came out later. The original colors, orange, red, blue, and your refractors are worth more than purple, green. I mean, some of them, purple, green, your blacks. I mean, people who are old school collectors, they love that stuff versus the new stuff.
Agreed. All right, so do you guys, I don't have the 21st question. Do you have the 21st question? What question did I miss?
The 21st question was, with today's market, do you hold or sell?
Correct. I felt like I asked that earlier today, though.
Yeah, you
You
did.
said at what point do you sell? Is what you said, right? Is what you said. So this is a different take on it, right? So it's apples and oranges to me. But in today's
Okay.
market, man, I think you again you figure out what lane you're in. Will kind of tell you where you need to go. Sometimes you have to sell a couple cards to maybe fund another PC item or fund another investment. And so honestly, I think you hit it on the head all the time we talk, Rafael. When you say sell the things that you can replace easy, keep the things that you can't, right? There's black label LeBron rookie cards that you move to pick up Giannis rookie card autographs out of 25, right? So I think you buy what you like, you sell what you don't, sell what you can easily replace, and keep the things that are going to be sought after for a couple years from now that are going to be through the roof and that you can't replace.
Agreed.
You took the words right out of my mouth, my friend. So now I'm gonna come to your house. I'm gonna take those words back.
Right. All right. So this comes a portion of the show where the people and listeners can ask questions, but I don't think they have any questions. You guys have any questions at home? Feel free to chime in with any questions that you may have for Bavin
Thank you. Thank you.
and Kobe Collector or myself. So feel free to chime in. Other than that, if you guys will be in Dallas next weekend, Dallas show should be really good.
Great show.
I, yeah, that's pretty much it. And say I did it again. Say My mom says I say all the time when I'm on the show. It's like my
But
mom. Shout out to my mom watching the show sometimes.
and if you're looking at us, man, and you have some shows that are coming up that you want us to visit or frequent with you guys, I know Raphael was always looking for a good show to reach out to. I know I'm talking to a couple buddies of mine that are probably going to put a big old show on in Missouri, and I'm pretty sure once we get some details on that, we'll start rolling that out. But thank you to everybody. Obviously, we're 20 days into the new year. I think we're on like our
Yes,
13th or 14th episode now. And
man.
it's been fun. We have guys on like Bavin, and hey, if you guys want to get on the show too, feel free to hit up our inbox, man. And we love to bring on people with different perspectives because
Correct.
we know that we don't have the answers and we don't know everything, right? We appreciate opinions. We don't get mad because you have a different opinion than us. Actually, we encourage it because it brings different perspectives and different sides of the hobby. And I think that that's important for everybody that's involved. So I do appreciate everybody for tuning in with us, man. It looks like we had a little crowd here with us, and it was fun.
Thank you very much, Bob, and I appreciate you joining us. I did,
Thank you.
I know it was last minute. I really appreciate you joining us for real. I mean,
No,
it was
thank
really
you.
entertaining and
Yeah, no
no,
problem. I hit up Mark, last week, and I was watching some episodes. And I was like, man, this is pretty cool. And I was like, when did you started doing this, man? Like, out of the blue, out of nowhere. It's like he starts doing his own thing, and he's like, hey, Bobbin, I don't need you. See ya. I'm like, dang. I know I look homeless, but come on, man. I know I'm sold.
He's always asking me for $1, man. I'm like, no,
I still have a soul, my friend. So yeah, I mean, it's pretty cool what y'all are doing. Keep it up. I enjoy watching. Watching y'all, and yeah, for sure, definitely. Do appreciate being on here, and talking about the hobby, stuff we love and stuff we don't love. Like seeing Mark. I don't really like to see his face that much because
right.
before I was like, but no. But yeah, I appreciate it. Appreciate y'all very much.
Yes, yes. And to piggyback off of what Mark said, I do plan on doing my own show. I know Atlanta doesn't have a whole lot of shows. For the people that are watching, I plan on doing a PrizmGawds show. I don't know. Let me know what you guys think of that. Just let it marinate and just think about that, okay? And I'm gonna try to bring something to you guys that I think you guys will be happy and proud of, and we'd love to have everybody that's in the hobby involved. So, if anybody's interested, feel free to hit me up, inbox me, whatever. But I plan on doing a PrizmGawds show here in Georgia. It's we don't have a whole lot of presence here for the hobby. Well, we do, but I don't think we get the respect that I feel like we should get in the hobby, especially with us being a central location for Florida, Tennessee, South Carolina, North Carolina, Virginia. Like we're literally like we have the whole southern coast area that people can come here to Georgia, you know, and have some fun. So I plan on doing something in the future. Hope you guys enjoy what I'm going to talk about in the future. So next week's guest, we'll have I think gosh, I can't remember his name, but
Baker.
no, Baker's February 3rd. Baker will be on February 3rd or February 2nd is when Mike Baker will be on from NBA Diamond. So I know I had somebody give me some conflict earlier on my Facebook page talking about that, which I thought was really crazy. He was like, they basically posted a picture of my Giannis with the sticker on it and was like, ha ha ha, laughing, you know, basically talking about you know, why did I get a sticker or whatever. And I'll be very clear. We talk about in previous shows that there's always area opportunities for things to get better in a hobby, right? We literally just talked about earlier today that PSA needs to come up with some systems put in place to identify that there are better PSA 10s than other PSA 10s, right? So you can get a PSA 10, right? And then if you scan it, you see the subs on it, you can see the subs on it to see that it's a little different. Yeah. And then maybe you do like a different, you know, turn on it. So people like NBA or Mike Baker, these are the necessary evils that are out here, or the necessary companies that are out here to help the average consumer. Because I don't, you know, I'm not a grader, so I don't know everything, and I always try to get a second eye. You know, Mark's my second eye. I got some other people who look at cards for me as well, but I don't know everything. So for that reason, you know, I always need backup, and there's nothing wrong with that. So that's my 2 cents. I guess PrizmGawds TV, we out. No.
We out of here, man.
Yep. We out. Appreciate you guys. We went an hour and probably an hour and 20 minutes. We did like an extra 20 minutes, but Mark was late. No, Mark wasn't late, but he had technical. And then Bobbin had some technical. I never have technical difficulties, so we got to have a go.
You do, but nobody says anything, man. It's fine. Next time we'll get it together, man. There's always room for opportunity, man.
All right, we'll see you guys next week.
TV out.
Peace.